Okay, so I just watched back my very first video diary thing. And I noticed I indeed ramble. Good God. Okay, let's try this again. Hi, my name is Marissa. I'm 25 years old and I live in my alcoholic mother's house. I absolutely am very much so trying very hard to get the knack of this. Let's do something with this. Because I noticed that I broke down almost like 3 times during this. And that's pretty crazy because I'm the only one here right now. So, okay. So, yes, I have had 2 jobs in my whole lifetime. I've gone to college, sorta. You know, I didn't make it. I didn't get my bachelor's. I, in fact, owe my school a crap ton of money. And not like you care. But guess what? It happens, and it stinks, and whatever. Well, not whatever, but yes, I am very much so in that list of people who need to do something. And I mentioned in the first one that I did of this that I had no motivation, and I never explained the domino effect I had, which maybe someone will get if I ever upload these, or someone won't. But let's explain it. Let's explain the domino effect. Okay. So we'll start off with things are going really good, and things are going great. I'm submerged in it. Like I mentioned that I mentioned that, you know, if I'm not submerged in something and cut off pretty much all outside of, like, social life, I'm talking, like, even, like, text messages or whatever. If I am not... Come on. Yeah, if I'm not totally into it, and one thing has me miss something, and then something else goes wrong, and then all of a sudden my motivation goes right out that door, and I promise you, it is a very terrible feeling, and I have told counselors this, I've told family this, and no one seems to understand that maybe there's something wrong. Yeah, here. Let's see, you can watch me actually talk to you. I apologize. Too far. Sorry. So, trying not to get off track here. This is kind of like, I guess, my first official introduction. I don't know. Don't judge me, okay? Whatever. So I'm currently unemployed. I'm not in school. Shit. Sorry, if I turn a certain way, my knee pops really bad. That's terrible. I'm not even gonna cut that, whatever. Cut it like I actually edit videos now. I mean, it's your second thought, whatever. I hate that term. Anyway, so and if you hear the random growling in the background, my dog is old and he is currently trying to scratch his back on, like, the floor. Sorry. I am. So, I need to quit spinning. That was another problem. I couldn't sit still because I was nervous. And do you blame me? Do you honestly blame me? So, I am... Yeah. For those who have no motivation, I'm on your boat, man. I'm not praising it. I'm not sitting here saying, hey, it's a great thing and I'm going to promote it. No. It is the loneliest feeling to sit here and have all the time in the world to think about what if you've done something wrong? Where did you go wrong? You know, where would you have been? Or would you be, you know? And then you have the motivational things that, you know, you see online. And it's like, oh, you can do this. And you're like, yeah, I can do it. And then you keep scrolling and just ignore it. And everybody doesn't. Don't even sit there and go, oh, well, then, no, not me. I never once have read one of those posts and sat there and went, I'm going to go get my life together. Thank you for sharing this. No. I read them and go, great, I feel an ounce better, and I'm going to continue on with my day. As I sit there and continue to scroll through Tumblr or Facebook or Twitter, whatever. Yes, I have those. I'm that sad of a human being. And recently I just started becoming more active so I have something better to occupy my time with, and lo and behold, it is something I cannot build a future on. I talk with my hands, so you see me flailing like this, I'm not going to point the camera at it. No. So if you see me just moving, it's me talking with my hand. I'm Italian, for God's sakes. Follow the stereotype, everybody. So that's lame. Okay, so how would I find motivation? When I was first looking for a job before I quit my most recent one, and I'm not going to say what it is in case I do post this, because it's just not happening. So I was working on fan fiction. Won't say what it is, but I rarely have an attention span for long stories or writing or anything. Sorry, I'm like holding this funny and arms falling asleep. So I was writing fan fiction, and I started it in March, and I wrote every day, and sometimes I was up till 9 in the morning adding chapters and just getting lost in it, and I realized that I kind of made a job for myself. I wanted to sit there and like just say I did something today, and even if it wasn't the ideal thing that everybody else wants you to do, it was something that I kind of worked on, and I'm still working on it. I actually got back into it because I don't have anything to do. And guaranteed, yes, for those of you who have me on Xbox, who see this, I'm always on YouTube. Guess what? Always watching Let's Plays. It's what I do day in, day out, and it's getting old. Not that I don't like Let's Plays. You guys are amazing. Rock on. I wish that I could have gotten into it before it was so common, and I wish that, I could still get into it. I would love to get into it. It'd be a thing. But would I build a career off of it? Probably not. I'm very sure that, a lot of people have a lot of sponsors, or, like certain ones, yes, they have worked very hard for it, and I feel like I'm not sure if I'd have the mental capacity to do it. Maybe not even the attention span. Right now, I don't even know how I'm doing this. Literally, I don't even know what time it is right now, and I know it's soon to be morning, and I mentioned in my other one, birds are still chirping, and yes, this is still the same night, and don't judge me on it, okay? I wanted to see if I could actually just keep going with this, so bear with me. Last one was 20 minutes, right now I'm up to 8 at this point. So, my motivation, trying to get my brain at least still active, so I'm not failing myself, I feel like. I keep trying to write, and I don't see many people, so again, this is another issue. I write more than I talk, and I can't talk, and right now I'm talking because I'm aware that I'm talking, and you're sitting here listening to me going, you seem fine. I'm not fine. I'm sitting here just going with it. I'm going with the flow, just like the rest of my life has been, and it has not been an easy flow. Sometimes it goes a backwards flow, who knows? But I'm very much so trying to keep myself from getting rusty as well. I do love writing. It's been my thing, and I'm that kind of artist. I've never been like a drawing artist. I had a friend who was, and she was absolutely phenomenal, and I tried to keep up with her, and my talents are just crap, and I'm like, here, just give me a pen and paper, just let me write something for you. Even then, so sometimes that was crap too, so stay humble, guys. So I'm doing that. I'm keeping up with YouTubers. It's such a sad hobby, honestly. Like, I just recently added one on Snapchat, and I'm so sorry, dude. Really, I am. And that's your private life, and it is very accessible. The internet is very accessible. It's very easy to find anything. If you know how to search for something and you are looking for it, you will find it. And I found it. And I wish I sort of hadn't. Because, yes, I'm not well known throughout the internet. I got a few people talk to me now, and that's kind of like, that's because I've been active a while. So that's also where my motivation to try and stay away from looking for things that maybe I shouldn't. And even though, yes, it is, you are very well able to do it, you shouldn't do it. I shouldn't have done it. I feel like crap. And if they add me back, great. I highly doubt it, though. And I highly doubt I'll ever contact them because they don't even know I exist until possibly now. So I'm sitting here like, great, make yourself known in the worst way ever. Eventually, I would like to meet these people and not have them go, here's your restraining order, have a nice day, thank you. And I know that sounds really exaggerated, but that's how my mind works. I just sit there and I'm like, no. So, I've also tried to get into singing through audio more. I know I mentioned that last time, and that's another thing I'm trying to get myself to do. I'm trying to come out of my shell. Because I have stuffed myself in and locked it in a safe and said, no, you cannot have the key. It's in here with me. Haha. I want something more for myself. Just not in the timeline that everybody else seems to have to follow these days. And it stinks because it's like, I'm free right now. I'm free. I'm free all the time, but I'm also broke and looked down upon for it. I know I am, and it sucks. You know, not many people will admit to it because, you know, it's your friends. Your friends don't do that to you. And I say, yes, I sit here stationary. All my friends have jobs, and I don't. And it's the worst feeling ever, is when you sit there and you're like, I am a loser. Not quite, but... Ow. Sorry. And I sit here, and I'm mostly looking at myself talking. I apologize. So, yeah, here we go with apologies again. So I'm trying to do things. Trying to make myself do things. Like right now I'm making myself talk about myself because I suck at it. And I guess it's little projects that I have to do, you know. And once in a while, if I get mad or stressed out or something, I'll move my room around. Yeah, it sets something for me for that day. So that's kind of, it's interesting. Because a lot of people find me very strange for it. I have very strange habits. I listen to very strange, different types of music that not everybody likes. Which makes it a very lonely friendship in those aspects. And, you know, then, so... School, you know, don't get a job. What about school? I just said the domino effect that I was talking about. I am afraid to fail. I don't like failing. No one likes failing, but I have a fear of it. I have a fear that when I fail, then I might as well not try anymore. And that is like a really terrible mentality to fall into. And if you have ever fallen into it, I have no rhyme or reason to ever tell someone that they're a terrible person for it. That's hypocritical. And why do that? You know, why sit there and go, you're crappy because you do things that way, and then you catch yourself doing it and you go, well, shouldn't I be crappy too? Well, no, because this isn't the situation. You go, no, crap is crap, man. And I drop my excuses everywhere, all over the place. And so, I mean, right now, I'm, you know, again, I'm not in school. I requested information from one recently, and I'm like, I really don't feel like calling them back. Because that's not what I want to do. I don't want to go into web design. I wanted to go into editing. I wanted to get my bachelor's in editing, and I wanted to do writing. And here's another kicker for you. I also don't drive. Personal reasons. Bringing up. Let's go with the fear. Let's go with, I was grown to fear independency. That is the worst thing you could ever do to a kid, is to take that away from them. Their sense that they can do things on their own and do everything for them until they turn 18. Yeah. Call me a spoiled brat now. at age 3, I could play an adult and it wasn't even funny. So, I'm not working, I'm not in school, and I'm not driving. And my grandmother once told me that I don't live, exist. And right now, I'm trying really hard not to just exist. And it sucks because you hear me sit there and say, well, I want to try, keeping myself active this way, and all this other stuff. And then I find myself saying, well, what if I could do more? And I say that right now, and I go, yeah, I can do more, and I'll go to bed right now, and let this be, and, never post another one again. I'll just be motivated. I'm not. I know I'll wake up at 2 tomorrow and sit there and go, cool. This channel has loaded its videos. Let's go. Let's watch. And here I am again. Repeat the cycle. And, a lot of people say, well, break the cycle. And I go, okay. And then you hear crickets. And it's, here we go again. So, motivation. How does one motivate themselves to do this? Even this. Why am I doing this? Why am I sitting here talking to myself? And I said, because I haven't done this. This is the one thing that I absolutely hadn't done. And I did do it, but I never got to, upload it anywhere because YouTube didn't exist back then, back when I was 13. Yes, back in the olden days. I'm not that old. 2003? Yeah, 2003 isn't that far away, ladies and gentlemen. And 90's good. And guess what? Yes, I was. And I was 3 days before 1990. But technically, I was still born in 89, so, meh. Yeah. I'm losing track of what I was trying to say. And, just press rewind and you can go see it. Yeah, now I feel bad for you guys on YouTube who post this kind of stuff and go, well, I forgot what I was going to say. And, yeah, so, okay. So I think I may have it. The motivation will keep going, but I'll just keep repeating that word until... So I'm constantly swaying in this chair. I'm so sorry. Probably making me seasick. But yeah, so motivation, and I'm not doing things that should be done, with myself. And I would love to blame myself at this point. Yeah, I'll ride on the excuses, man. I could spill about a ton of things that, my parents have done to me, and it's not even like you couldn't imagine the crap I've gone through, and I'm sure, physical abuse isn't even part of it. It's not even on the list. And it's like, I don't know which I would have rather endured. Getting beat or having your head screwed with you. And, I'm just now coming into my own self and sitting here going, well, what choices do I have, that I can make for myself? And I'm sitting here going, I have none. I don't have, a jack with a side of shit to my name, and I don't... And people say, oh, you worked before, you can do it again, it just takes a while, and then I have people who say, you can do this, and all this other stuff, and I go, what if I don't want to be miserable like that? What if I... At one point, I wanted to start my own weird revolution. That was my motivation, was, to make sure no one felt alone. And you can't make money off that. I don't want to go to school for psychiatry and psychology. I am so... Wow, that was really bad. I don't want to go to school for that, and I'm sitting here going, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. I really don't. I don't want to sit here and go, I studied for this and I have a doctorate degree, and I can tell you what's wrong with you, and I'm going to be right because this is what I was taught to tell you. I recently called it fortune cooking. I fortune cookie my friends a lot, and it's not even common sense. It's sitting here going and thinking all the time of what problems I've faced, and it's honestly personal experience, and trying to figure it out, and then you just go beyond the motions of what little things I have learned, because I did take psychology for a hot second, and I learned a lot of things, and it was kind of weird because I've seen a therapist. Yes, I've seen a therapist for anxiety and depression, and they said I was high functioning. Now, my motivation to go to this was to fix myself, because I had problems. I still have problems, and I have not gone back. And I should. But I, at the same time, sort of, I guess, I don't have motivation to do that either. It's just, like, terrible. I'm interviewing myself and just calling you, like you sit there and you go, oh, I have no motivation to move today. I have no motivation to do anything. The thought of leaving my house right now, like, to do something, it scares me. It does. I don't like it. And if given the choice, for the sake of selfish reasons, I would cut off all contact with people and just shut off my phone. If I could. Yeah. I would do that. But you can't do that to friends, because that's... And people say, well, if they're true friends, they'll understand. Some can't. Some have a hard time accepting that. And when people do that, in general, I'm not saying personal, pointing fingers, dear God, no. When people don't understand something that is going on that you can't explain, it's very hard to try and explain it. And I do a lot of things I don't know about. I didn't realize I do it. And, it's not that, okay, that's one thing I know I lack the motivation on. I never have lacked the motivation on trying to understand why I do things. I've always wanted to know why I do certain things, why I say certain things, why certain situations come up with me, and I'm suddenly left with, well, I could have done this a different way. I could have felt a different way. I could have reacted differently to that. And the initial reaction that usually I come from different situations depends on my mood, I guess. And that's that, you can't really ever get a, definite reaction from me, because it depends on the day. If I'm feeling off and I spaz really bad, that couldn't even be from what's going on. That could be because of something that I've been dealing with. So, I feel like I never give, the correct response because of that. I guess I let my head control a lot of me. And not even the brain. Not even, don't be dumb. And sit there and go, oh, well, haha, it's your brain. No, I sit there and I go, I don't like being lost in my own thoughts. I'm sitting here and zoning out, and again, I would love to try and find something to... Oh, cool. That actually works a lot better, because now I can just lean on this and spin. Whoops. Sorry. I would like to figure out why. That's originally I went therapy, and they sat there and thought that was really different. That not only was I there to try and help myself, but I was there to figure it out for myself as well. And That's like the only motivation I have, is just to figure out what's wrong with people, make them okay. And, maybe that's like, maybe you sit there and you're like, oh, that's a doctor thing. Sorry, I'm checking the chair real quick. Yeah, that's not good. I shouldn't have done that. Oops. So, okay. ADD, I guess you can add that too, not just from that little spell. No, I'm kidding, I don't. So yeah, like, so I mentioned, this weird revolution thing that I wanted to do, and I sat there and was like, I want no one to feel alone. I want someone to go out there and find themselves and do something for themselves. I want you to, as general people, I wanted to sit there and go, let me make a difference in your life. And when I would throw out the call to say, hey, I'm here to talk, or something, it was very weird to sit there and go, I'm trying to lend my services to you as a person and try and talk to you, because I know everybody goes through crap. I go through a lot of it. Bring me your burdens. I'll add it onto mine and never talk about it ever again. And I wanted people to open up to me, and then when no one did it, it felt like, maybe people aren't as helpless as they say. And that's where it kind of got weird for me, was I sort of gave up on that after a while. And then it was mostly Tumblr. You see people trying to help each other all the time and everything. Everybody's got that weird Batman signal up once in a while. And then I noticed there are certain levels that you're meant to respond to as a user. If you're wanting to end your life, I understand, No, I don't understand why you're trying to end your life, because that is like, that's like the ultimate dead end, to where you could have seen probably past that gate that says, you can't go past here. Crawl under it. Go see what's past it. Don't sit there and go, just because it's blocked off doesn't mean that there's still something there. And I know that's not really helpful. And I know that that's not, the usual bargaining chip of what people usually say to each other. And I don't want to give the same advice you've already received. Not you, general people, okay? So, hang on. I lose my train of thought way too much. Okay, so levels of, helping people, I guess. I noticed that a lot of times, at the end of your life thing, like, by all means, people run to the rescue, please. And then it's sort of like, it kind of dwindles down from there, and then I noticed that a lot of people who are on there talk very openly. They usually just say, can someone message me, or, if they have their mutuals that talk to them, and this is just telling them I'm talking about, not like Facebook or anything. And that's cool that you guys got a support system. And then there's little old me, which I'm not saying, oh, woe is me. I write this huge thing about how my night's going and everything, and there's just no response. I sit there and go. My blog has one sentence on it. You are not alone. There's a reason why it's titled Screaming Silence. Because I desperately am asking people in silence to look at me and go, what's wrong? And when no one does, and I have to speak up, it's about a point where I'm like, I'm letting it eat at me, and I know I can't do that, so then I just kind of talk. And it's weird because then I get the advice back. And I sit there and go, well, maybe that's how this is supposed to go. And then my head goes, no one wants to hear you. No one cares. And then I sit there, turn right around and tell everybody, I care. I care, I'll listen. And it's a flock. I've stayed up countless nights with people. No matter the situation. Just talking to them. I've had, like, very, very, very few thank yous. I can count on one hand how many times someone's came back and went, you made a difference. And when someone does that, I sit there and I get really overwhelmed because I'm so used to, the dead line on the other end of someone getting help from me. It's hard and humbling to hear, someone appreciate you. And you say humbling, and it's like, well, humbling usually is when, you have something really good going for you. And you have to play it down because, nobody likes egos. No one likes getting an ego, honestly. And those who do probably already had one in the first place and probably need it knocked down if you're not just saying. So I don't know, I'm motivated to help people, but not with what is asked to make it a profession. I don't want it a profession. I don't want my altered state of mind and how I help people and thought transitioned over to some textbook crap. Like, I would rather sit there and go, this is what happened to me, and this is what I had to deal with. And because I had no one around to sit there and go, you done messed up, I'm going to tell you, this is what you can do. And then no one listens to me. No, I'm kidding. No, some take my advice, and, and then I sit there and I'm like, I should take my own advice. And I never do. I never listen to myself. And I never listen really to others. And yet I'm so motivated to tell somebody, look both ways before crossing the street, and here I am out in the middle of the road directing traffic, trying to do something stupid. I'm such a big hypocrite, but yet at the same time, it is so much easier to try and direct someone's life than fix your own. People's problems are a huge distraction, and they're a great distraction, and they, you feel better for being able to undistract them and help them, and then you're left going, oh, what? Well, I'll just turn back on YouTube. But that's my thing, that's not. That's not what you should do. That's what I do. And that's what I'm motivated to do. I get up and have not succumbed to worse predicaments. Because, I have on film me being 14, 15, saying, yes, I've been suicidal. And my mother will not get rid of that tape. And I cannot play it back because my video camera is broken. Thank God. But, yes, I have gone through my trials and tribulations and have my faults, and I've done my mistakes, and I've done my fair share crying up at night, all alone. And I know it's hypocritical, and again, I'll say it, but I'm so motivated to make sure no one has to go through feeling like that, who's willing to listen to me and who's willing to want to talk. I have no problem sitting and just listening, and that's one thing that I love to do, besides writing and trying to make stupid stuff like this. And got my down days to where I don't even know the term motivation. Don't even talk to me about motivation. I do not want to hear one word about motivation, and I very much so am like, stupid. It's so stupid. It's freaking retarded. And then I go, well, if I can do this, I can do anything, right? No. Because I need a certain kind of motivation to do it. So, there's your domino effect. And now the question is, well, what happens when someone flat out just doesn't want your help? And I sit there and I go, you don't have to tell me. That's your business. And I don't know what it is. Something about that phrase and something about my weird personality. I have had people who have hated me come to me and go, I need help, and then we can go back to hating each other. And I sit there and go, all of me should not be helping you, but because I have this weird moral where I refuse to lose, it's a goal, not a moral, it's a goal to not let anybody feel like I have just walked away from them, because people walk away from everybody all the time, and that's not cool. So I've had people at 7 o'clock in the morning show up to my house just broken down, and I am not at all patting myself on the back. I am in wonder of where does everybody suddenly look at me and go, yeah, you were going to help me. And I remember the worst time ever. It was right after I had graduated, and I hung out with a ton of people who were very problematic. I'm real problematic, not this meme going around, so stop it. Who were spoon-fed just crap all their lives, and I had to spoon-feed them common sense almost. And I moved out, and I moved away, and I got a hold of these people, and it was like the city was on fire. Someone found a book of matches and just lit a pile of gasoline, and someone just built onto it, and nobody understood why their lives were going wrong, and I felt like crap. I had every ounce of guilt that because I left these people alone, and someone had to actually shake me and go, you can't save everybody, and not everybody is going to always listen to you, and you can't spoon feed everybody for the rest of their lives. I got a group of friends, a different one, who I grew up with, and I'm 2-3 years older than them. I'm not that much older than them, and it's like being a parent. And I love them very much. And I know I'm way off topic here. And I love them very much. And I can't express that enough without getting really teary-eyed like I'm doing right now. And each and every one of them has their own backstory, just like I do. And we all used to be really close, and times have changed, and people have changed, and fights have broke out, and, things have happened, and we're all still family. At the end of the day, each one of us will say yes. We're still family. If it comes push to shove, we're there. And I'm like, it's a bunch of 20-year-olds now, and I sit there and go, well, this one's, cried about this and everything, and it was because, we were left alone a lot, our parents and stuff just kind of let us do our own thing, and then everybody kind of just lost their minds, and I sat there and I'm like, why are you people doing this to yourselves? And eventually you ask that question enough, people start wondering, why are we doing this to ourselves? It's mostly guys, so I've had, a ton of sons, and it's weird, but I never once gave up on them. I never once could give up on them, and I never once want to give up on anybody, unless it comes down to the fact that it's just walking the line of stupidity for me to stick around, because nothing's going to change. And that's when I have to step back and go, yeah, this has kind of got to not happen, and I'm okay. eventually with it, and I lose that guilt, because by that point I'm just completely over trying to work sense into something that doesn't want to be worked into with the sense. I'm sorry, but I know it's weird, it's different. Trust me, it blows my mind still to this day to have someone still come up to me and go, I remember when you helped me out with this, and I go, I don't, because everybody, okay, yes, I said you're stationary, and yet I say I have no motivation. I am still somehow busy with people, and I say, I never really talk to anybody. That's because I'm listening all the time. And I guess right now I get to do the talking to myself and to you, whoever is watching this. I'm at 41 minutes on this. There's no way I can upload this at all to anything. That's okay. Maybe I'll find my motivation one day to edit videos and do this, and maybe I won't. But again, it's really late. But again, so there's my domino effect problem. It's one thing goes wrong, everything else goes wrong, and I'm afraid of failure to a point where it's sickening, and I have no motivation to do worldly things, to be part of the system, quote unquote. But I do very much try my best to be great to people, and I try very hard to make sure that no one feels like crap on nights that, I know I felt like crap. I never want to leave someone in the dark, crying and rocking themselves to sleep, being not even a child. I never want someone to go through that. And that's where my motivation lies. And my motivation lies is making sure that no one is alone. And you are not alone either. And I need you to understand that. And that it is okay. And I know I said my other one, people get tired of sorries, people get tired of it will get better. Well, sometimes instead of it will get better, I live by this, the shadow proves the sunshine, and that is an amazing song by a great band. I don't care if they're hokey or California surfer dudes, or it's not even your genre. If you pick apart because of the type of music it is, and not because of what the lyrics and the messages, shame on you. And yes, I have done it, but at the same time, there is a lot of music going around today, and that is a subject for another time. Before I get into that rant. Maybe that'll be a different one. Who knows? But good night. And I'm going to watch this playback. And it's going to be terrible. And I'm probably going to hate myself. But I needed to say this. And I needed to do this. And I kind of like doing it. And it's only my second one. So we'll see.